Hi, and welcome to UsagiShade, a channel all about showcasing your favorite obscure games. One of my first videos on the channel involved my picks for the top 10 Japanese games for the PSP, and a lot of you wanted to see another list showcasing more games. So as a thanks for all of the support that video received, I'll be doing exactly that. Before watching this video, I recommend starting with my first list so you don't miss out on any entries. Regardless, I hope you enjoy this next showcase. Without further ado, here are 10 more Japanese games for the PSP. Toro has to be one of my favorite PlayStation IPs out there, and while I'm not too familiar with this complete lineup of games, I can already tell they have a ton of charm and laid-back fun within each of them. Forgive me if I misinterpret the game's premise, but I'm assuming we're going through Toro's school life alongside these other mainline characters? From what I understood, you go through different days, each containing different events that I presume lead to your graduation. There's times where they sort of speak for themselves, while other moments involve my own input, which I didn't think too much of at the time, until they started repeating the things I wrote, which didn't stop even after one class session. And now I feel really bad because it's like I taught these cute characters the wrong things to say. You probably heard of this game through its sequel that launched on multiple platforms, but for those unacquainted, Conception is sort of a unique mixture of RPG and dating sim elements, where building relationships with your harem helps you build a stronger party for your dungeon crawling quests. Well, they're more like labyrinths, but either way. Aside from actually having these girls as part of your party, you mainly obtain new party members by breeding them with any of the girls you feel like building a relationship with. So you pretty much have sex with whichever one you bond with, and you make kids that fight alongside you. Yeah, that's how this game works. There's plenty of variations when it comes to what class each child is, and their appearance will match the girl you created them with. If she has sky blue hair with straight bangs, your child will also have light blue hair with straight bangs. Brunette will be brunette, red will be red. You know how genetics work. This game requires a lot of your time and dedication to grind through it all. No completed English patch yet, but there could be one arriving soon. Most people will automatically compare this to Pokemon or even go as far as calling it an alternative for platforms outside of Nintendo. But while you could argue it's very similar, it's actually more linked to nostalgic games like Tamagotchi, where you take care of a little creature and attend to its every need. Unlike Pokemon, where you just battle in a party of 6 and level them up that way without the need to take care of them. Your Digimon will be hungry, tired, and it'll even need to poop at times, which can happen a lot after they have long training sessions. Of course, you can always go out and fight other Digimon in the open fields, which you encounter by walking up to them usually. You'd expect the battle mechanics to be turn-based in the same vein as Pokemon, but your Digimon fights automatically. You can only motivate them to attack, throw items they need, or exit the match as far as the beginning of the game allows you to be involved. I'm sure you can catch new Digimon later on in the game, but I didn't get very far, so I wasn't able to unlock much. Definitely give this game a try though if you're itching for an immersive pet simulator. I'll be honest with all of you, when I played this game for the first time, I was just completely lost in what to do or what the overall objective was for this game. After a while with it, I think it's safe enough to take an educated guess based off of visuals alone. From the looks of it, this is an ongoing chain of 1v1 arguments, and you basically try to win each argument by using the best responses or counterphrases that set the opposing person off, pushing your meter towards the end in order to win. The entire game is story-driven, and every piece of context revolves around the narrative in some way. You'll probably forget you're playing a game at times, feeling convinced you're just sitting back and watching an anime until you're thrown in another verbal battle. It's interesting, to put it best. Truly one of a kind. Sort of like the previous entry, this game is also very story-driven, and most, if not all of your gameplay will take place during the ongoing cutscenes that continuously play as if you're watching the story unfold right before you. The main character you play as is a young reporter who can somehow travel to any point in time to undo her mistakes, kind of in the same vein as Max from Life is Strange. There's hardly ever a dull moment in this game either, constantly throwing new things at you that tend to catch you off guard, including quirky characters, new mechanics without introduction, and a killer soundtrack. It's not a game that's talked about or really acknowledged that often when it comes to the PSP's Japanese lineup, but I can say for sure you'll enjoy what it has to offer. If you're a fan of games like Monster Hunter or Phantasy Star Online, you might feel right at home here. While it's not as open-ended as those games can be, the way you play it can be comparable enough. You start by creating your own character, get some bits of lore, and after some training, you're on your way to quest-based story progression while you meet a bunch of unique characters along the way. While the main hub is very restrictive, the battlefield acts as your playground, where you tackle the mission you're given at your own leisure, often being the main course of your play sessions. With so many ways to kill monsters and absorb goodies from their bodies, the battle mechanics are very dynamic and fun to master, which can lead to some really cool looking lineups. The best way to play any God Eater game would have to be with friends, so if you have the means to do so, I recommend teaming up with others for an even better experience. I'm gonna try not to be biased here because I actually love this franchise more than I should. At first, I was shocked to find out there was an Initial D game on PSP, so you could imagine my large grin when I saw it could be played on a handheld. For those unacquainted, Initial D, which could either be Initial Drift or Initial Dream depending on who you ask, is an arcade racing simulator that's based on the official anime, where you race as any of the characters and their respective vehicles in a variety of mountain passes that also originated in the anime. There's tons of corners to drift through, plenty of straightaways, and a breathtaking scenery that looks surprisingly detailed for PSP standards. What sells this game the most is its distinct visuals that stay intact with 90s anime, giving each driver their own spotlight, as the cars are only half of the main attraction. The best part about these characters is seeing them chime in on screen during each race, adding drama and character interactions while you're driving. Usually, I stick with playing as Takumi in his 8.6, even if it's slow on the straightaways. It just makes winning in this car feel that much better. But above everything else, you can't talk about Initial D without bringing up its soundtrack, which is one of the reasons it stands out from any other racer out there. Every track consisting of fast-paced Eurobeat music, it really raises your level of adrenaline and just makes you feel even cooler when you're drifting at high speeds. As far as linear narratives go, this one definitely does a lot with it. If you've ever wanted to experience Tokyo during a natural disaster or its aftermath, it may pique your interest for sure. Though, don't expect a lot of exploration outside of what's scripted in-game. While the events are tragic, the experience is unlike any other of the same genre, unless you've played the other installments anyway. It may seem straightforward on the surface, but easily captivates you with its presentation and all the iconic sights you'd expect to come across, especially when it comes to interacting with NPCs who add their own personal weight throughout the events that take place. I mean, there's a reason this game has plenty of sequels, so definitely give it a shot if you haven't already. You'd be surprised, this is only the second JRPG I've mentioned in this entire video, which is saying a lot. While turn-based RPGs aren't anything new, this one plays as a third-person adventure, then switches to a classic first-person POV during battle. You're dropped into the game's narrative, playing as one of the Soul Triggers, a group who go against those who maliciously misuse the soul. One of the most captivating parts of this game is definitely its characters, each being very different from each other. The story itself is pretty deep too, so if you're going to invest time into this one, make sure you put aside a hefty amount of hours to get through it all. The English translation is fine, but if you've noticed from the footage, the text is still a bit wonky, so keep that in mind when you're playing through it. Before we get to number 1, here's some other games worth mentioning. A big reason I love games made in Japan has to do with how they execute so many concepts in ways that really bring out our nostalgia. That might sound confusing, but whenever I play any Boku no Natsuyasumi game, it's like reliving my early childhood where I find myself exploring neighboring locations and feel a sense of discovery everywhere. In this game, you pretty much enjoy your summer vacation with your relatives and have your own adventures each day. Things usually kick off and end with a family meal, but in between all that, the entire map is your playground. You can interact with your family members or any locals you meet, explore the forests and find things that catch your eye, and a lot of things in this game are interactable too, which only fuels your curiosity even more. I remember finding this arcade game where it actually lets you play it, and even this bike that was parked. I just randomly found it and took it for a ride around the island. The atmospheric sounds really sell this game's calming environment too, often allowing you to lose yourself in its world and even being a great escape from reality. And that was part 2 of a potentially ongoing series of the top 10 Japanese games for the PSP. I really appreciate the support a lot of you have been giving towards my content. I don't usually have the time to make videos like these, but reading your comments really motivates me to keep creating. So I'm grateful I already attracted a decent amount of viewers who are passionate about the same stuff as I am. If you want to know more about me, what I do, or what I look like, my social media links are there in the bottom right corner, in addition to my Twitch channel if you want to game with me for a bit. Thanks again for watching. This is UsagiShade, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.